Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, and I wanted to stand outside. It's kind of like almost drizzly rainy, but good morning. Friday Focus. My name is Kaeleya Rayne, and I am an intuitive business coach. And I help women create the business of their dreams and earn more while doing so. And how I help them is actually get into and uncover, because I'm an intuitive, those hidden inner blocks and obstacles that are showing up in their business that they can't see. But as an intuitive, I can help them see, right? And so we just get right to it. We start to uncover those things that are holding them back, affecting their income, and the sense that they're bringing themselves along for the ride starts to come back. They stop feeling like they are missing their life while they're pursuing their path here in business. And that's kind of the topic of today. And it's something that's really valuable and really powerful for you to use in your business. So Friday Focus is a time for us to take a look back. From a business point of view, it's an opportunity for you to look back at your week and be willing to measure what worked really, really well. And it gives you the opportunity to actually celebrate what you did. What did you do that worked really well? How many calls did you make? Did you follow up with everybody? Did you get your projects nearer to completion? And I just want to get right to the juicy part of this because I can feel it in my body, and I think it's valuable to stand up and just be honest. So let me just see if I can get this light right. There we go. I think a lot of us are scratching beyond this surface in our business, that there's something more being offered for us. There's something more that we're meant to be doing with our consciousness, with our capacity to experience life and love and nature and the energy that, oh, hi, Manjeet. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for the thumbs up. There's so many layers to what's really going on in the life of a human being. So much of it is a mystery, and so much of it is meant to be a mystery, and yet we are being called to go deeper into those layers and understand the power of who we are, so that we do a better job of showing up and being here, of doing what it is that we came here to do. And Manjeet, it's just so amazing and synchronistic that you're actually on this, because this is so perfect, and I love how it always works out. One of the things that, and I didn't know you were going to be on here today, in the last few years, there have been times when I have actually drawn on Manjeet's energy and his teacher's energy at times of struggle, just by simply seeing an image of them, because there was so much light coming off the image. One of your high teachers, Manjeet, you know this story. I literally, my focus and my commitment is to showing up and to not judging myself for whatever stress I'm under, or struggle, or discomfort, or memory, or whatever it is that shows up that makes you feel like you're not operating on all 12 cylinders, right? And one of the things that happened to me is I experienced a lot of trauma when my mother had just a really horrible experience on her way out, and we were really closely connected, and so it left me with I started to struggle like I'd never had before in my life. At the same time, I went through an initiation. At the same time, I was growing my business, and so I would find that when I was in a room like she ended up having to be institutionalized. And so for the first time in my life, every time I was in a room that I couldn't get out of, I would start to freak out. Even though I knew consciously there's nothing wrong, there's the door, I can get up and leave whenever I want to. My body would go into this like very, very just powerful discomfort. And this is, I've lived my life pretty grounded. It's, just how I've been. And so it was just a really difficult path to walk and pull myself out of. And so there were times when I actually would focus on the energy in the pictures that I saw of Manjeet, you and your teacher, which I know you know this story. And when I did that, what occurred to me was that what I was experiencing wasn't really real, that it was just a memory that had been overlaid into my body. And so because we're so brilliant in our bodies, and because we are like walking mystery vehicles, I was willing to entertain that I could actually overcome and exchange the discomfort for something much, much more powerful. And so what started to happen is I started to realize even more and more and more, thank you for the heart, Manjeet, thank you so much, is that we are so powerful in our capacity to shift our view and our focus in our consciousness. And the consciousness is not just in here, it's in the body, it's in the soul, it's in the mind, it's in your thoughts, it's in your thinking. It is through us. We are woven into this mystery with, all these plants. You can see all the trees here that I surround myself with as a norm, and draw on and benefit from. And we're kind of in the process of just about to have a storm, so if I end up moving inside, you'll know why. But the point is that we are energetic powerhouses. Very few of us are taught this. The energy that I was able to draw on from the image of you, Manjeet, with your teacher immediately sparked that, wait a minute, I'm way more powerful than this. There is light and love in me. I have the capacity to overcome through my consciousness, through my directed energy, through my directed focus, what I'm experiencing that's causing me great discomfort. And the reason I'm bringing this up in business is that we are human beings first, business second. Human beings first, business second. And so many of us are have thrown ourselves into our businesses and into our work to do and make this planet a better place. And so we're called to step beyond the things that hold us back. This is what's going on, right? Now, honestly, my belief strongly is that this is all meant to be, that there's an energetic connection to evolution occurring. And so those of us that are standing in a circle, that are saying, I'm going to do more, I'm going to show up for more, and having to overcome the struggle and the survival stuff that clicks in, that knocks us off living in possibility and expansion and willingness to take risks that it takes to be in business, right? That stuff gets wrestled with. And I really believe that we are actually evolving. Thank you for the hearts. We are evolving as a human species through our capacity to show up for our work, for our greater work, for our businesses that we're driven to propagate and take out into the world and create a better place, a better way of using money, a more conscious way of leading, a more deepened connection to self, and a healing around income generation. And so what I really wanted to talk about today is everything that we're talking about right now, to be honest. This is it. Using and understanding the power of who you are to live your life, knowing that when you do that, that naturally shows up in your business. It just does. I see so many people just doing business, like they think they're just doing business, where it's like, okay, it's this, and this. And that's all they do. And they're not getting coaching. They're not doing deeper work. They're not taking time for themselves. Thank you for the hearts. They're not connecting with their wives or their husbands or their children or themselves. They're not taking walks outside. It's go to work, get in the car, go to work, sit in an office, work, exchange energy. Leave the office, get in their car, go home, sit in front of the box that's the television or whatever box it is, maybe it's their computer or their phone, and go to sleep. There's no self-connection time occurring. And so what happens is people are losing out on the truth of the power of who we truly are is being missed out in this drive to earn more, to receive more social status, to express and experience a higher level of material gain. Hi, Lisa. I'm so glad you're here. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us. So if you just jumped on, my name is Kaeleya Rayne, and I'm an intuitive business coach. And my focus is I work with women in business, and I help them create the business of their dreams and earn more while they're doing so. And the way that I connect in with them as an intuitive is I help them heal, thank you for the hearts, the hidden and inner obstacles that show up in their business that are coming through their own consciousness, through their own flow into their business. That's my focus. The focus is deepening the connection with yourself, turning and stepping into conscious leadership, and healing income generation. And so today what we're focusing on is consciousness as a flow tool. Okay. And I spoke in the beginning about how and what's happened for me, some of my story that very few of you know about the struggles that I have had because I am an energetic powerhouse, because I have been working on this for so many years that when I got knocked off because my mother became very, very ill, I experienced deep struggle with the power of who I was, and I had to find a way. I had to find a way to shift that into a flow tool, or else suffer the serious consequences, right? Oh, there go my dogs. See? They found an escape route. Um, so, what happened this morning always happens before I do any of these shows. I get major information and something occurs. And so what happened was, before we got on the show today, I was hearing really clearly, you need to speak about consciousness as a flow tool. I want to tell you a really quick, real story that happened yesterday. So a really, really good friend of mine, he's operating in 7 figures, okay? He's operating 7 figures. Every time I talk to him, it's like, yeah, we made 800,000, or we made 400,000, or we made 60,000, or 40. And the thing is that because he's operating at such a high roller level, sometimes the money's really tight, right? Because if you have an $800,000 income, but you earn 820, you owe 820, you're short 20. And so when I reached out to him, it was totally intuitive. I felt him. I said, what's going on? How are you? And he said, well, I've got to do this. And this investor, this really big investor that had signed up to work with me, has totally disappeared. Won't return my calls, isn't responding, blah, blah, blah. And so I said to him, focus your consciousness, flow your consciousness on the end results you desire. I'm not kidding you. Within 4 minutes, he texted me back. He said, sister, what did you just do? And I said, just practice consciousness flow. What happened? The person reached out after not hearing from him and just gave him $20,000, like just like that. And the reason and I use this all the time in my business, I use this in my life. That's why I wanted to talk about it today, because I don't want it to be a hidden secret from you. I don't want it to be a tool that you miss out on using in your business and in your life, which is consciousness flow. Another example, I'm going at the end of the month on a trip. I had not had the woman that works with me and helps me do so much of my business, so that I can focus on you guys and deliver and coach. I had forgotten to ask her if she could book a flight for me, and I hadn't booked it myself. Well, when I went back to look at it, it had tripled in cost. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, he's with the dogs, just checking. So I totally held a space for the price to flow. Okay, I've been doing this for years, and it is what it is. Why? Because I know that matter and reality is not solid. It's not even real. We're creating it. That's why we feel different within 2 minutes. Like, we can feel like crap, we'll do some work, and all of a sudden, oh wow, I feel so much better. I mean, every time I'm on a call with a client, if they come on and they're in distress within 5 or 10 minutes, and when I check in again at the end of the call, it's like, I feel great. I feel so much better. Why is that? Because we're shifting. We are shiftable. We are adaptable. Things aren't solid. This phone isn't solid. My hands aren't solid. You know this if you've studied physics at all. You know about the reality of what's occurring. Movement is occurring in everything. So don't get fixed when you see something and think that it is permanent. It's not. It's not permanent, okay? The life cycle shows us that. It's not permanent. Trees grow and eventually die. Human beings grow. We are born, we grow, and we eventually die, so-called, right? Really what's happening is we're just shifting energetic form, but that's another conversation for another time. The point is that for years, gosh, going on 30 years of business now, I have used this tool to create. And it is from and based on the belief and the awareness and understanding that things are not solid, which means what? It means that I could have, when I used to be back in front of a camera, I would create jobs within an hour and a half. And the people that were around me at that time knew that. So let's say I had a 3-day opening. I would use my consciousness, plug into a 3-day job, and within an hour and a half, the phone would ring over and over and over again. I would get the job. Now, in my business that I've been running for the last going on 20 years now, I use this tool, like for example, with the flights. I didn't want to pay triple the price, so I held a space to listen in. I set myself up as a locator to listen in for when the energy would respond and change for what I was asking for, which was an opening in the fabric of reality so that I could pay what I wanted to pay and get to my family in Palm Springs. Well, later that day, I'm working and I hear, oh, here comes Cass. Oh, you can't see her. She's split. Man, she's fast. Later that day, I heard check the flights, and I did. And there, the flight was there. I booked it. It was less than the original price. And this happens all the time, right? This happens. I expect it to happen. So it's a process of understanding and using yourself as a tool in your business. I ache for you to succeed. Why? Because you matter. Your work matters. We need you. We also need you to understand how powerful you are and that you're worth more than the material gains that you create. That is the problem that is operating in this country. Did you know that we are in trouble in this country? Did you know that in America, people are in trouble up here? It is an epidemic. It is an epidemic. Okay? People are disconnected. That's why. That's the core. The core of all of this is disconnection. So learn how to value yourself in your business, not just as a tool for creating money or production or producing, but as a consciousness tool. You will take your business. Can you imagine? Like, think about it for a minute, right? If all of a sudden you started realizing that things aren't solid, which means that let's just say you have a 20K deadline by the end of the month, right? And at the top of the month, you're at, I don't know, 9K. So that means you've got to make another 11 in sales and actually bring that in. So it's not just 11 in sales, but it's actually bringing in 11 into the business, okay, to cover payroll, investments, whatever it is that you've got set up. If you knew going into the beginning of the month that money was not in lack, that money was just energy, that nothing was solid, you would go into it as a powerhouse. You would go into it knowing, wait a minute, I can connect into my own consciousness. I can connect into my own power and hold a flow space for me to draw the right client, for me to draw the right energy, for me to draw the right attention and act as a magnet for the income, for the consciousness to flow through you so that more people benefit, right? More people benefit from you being you. And guess who benefits the most? You do. The more of us that are standing and operating in this place of connection and the recognition of the depth of who we are, can you imagine? We're not taught to do this in this country, right? I'm sorry. Look, I love the land and I love the people, but I'm not from here. I'm actually Sri Lankan and Welsh. I was raised by two very not American people. Their whole focus was on consciousness. Their whole focus was on word, on your word, on who you are as a person. How observant were you? How capable were you of listening? Of coming up with concepts and ideas and arguments to support your theories. That's how I was raised. Not about, can we make this? Can we earn this? We have this. We need this. And they earned really, really well, right? We were never in lack financially. Money was just never an issue. But they were using their consciousness to create. And they were using their consciousness to create a path in me as a child of empowered thinking. A powerhouse thinker. That's what they wanted and that's what they got. That's who I am. And I want to share that with you. Because here I have noticed in the, gosh, it's like 20 26 years I've lived here now, right? People are taught to go to work rather than do the deeper work, and it's a problem in the fabric of this culture. We are losing who we are, guys. We are not being supported to be who we are, to deepen our connection. There's so much pressure, right? So, look, I know everybody's really busy. I want to start bringing this to a close. What's the point? The point is that matter and reality and your business, how it's operating, your income, your revenue streams, your relationship with your team, it's not solid. It's moving, which means what? You have an amazing capacity to create positive transformation in a very short amount of time, which means increased income generation, deepened connections. Thank you for that comment, Manjeet. It's beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, which I think you know through the ethers. These pieces of who you are want to be brought together. They want to be part of your life. Don't ignore them. Use them. Use who you are. Take time to deepen. Take time to consciously lead your life and your thinking, and challenge the thought that what is real. It's not. It's changeable. It's mutable. There are some things that we don't have effect over. Like, for example, if someone doesn't like you, that's okay. It's a projection, right? You could spend a lot of time trying to work in the projection and try to facilitate change. I just don't think it's a good use of your time. That's another conversation too, right? Like, well, when we begin to realize that we're as powerful as we are, where do we want to put our attention and focus? Right? We want to put our attention and focus on getting flow into our lives, turning into and stepping into the inner powerhouses that we really, truly are. Don't forget, you are so much more powerful than you have any idea. Truly, it's a mystery. Right? That's the reality. That is the reality, right? And it's not solid. Again, it's mutable. You can grow and exchange your worry and angst and fear and resistance and clamp down and concern. All of that is just energy. It's just energy, right? It's why you can laugh after you've cried really hard, because someone touches the part of you and says, it's going to be okay. Oh, well. You didn't want that vase anyway. It broke. I'm sorry. And then the person laughs. Why? Because it's just energy shift. Get real about how powerful you are. How do you do that? Breathe, listen, get connected to the deepened sense of who you are. You will begin to see it everywhere. I do this work with my clients. I hear them on the phone. I see them on the emails. I see them responding, saying, it's working. It happened. It opened for me. I got it. The client shifted over and over. I got the 20K. The client, like the friend of mine, right? Investor had disappeared 4 minutes after communicating. It's like, what did you do? Just held a consciousness flow space and asked him to do the same thing. And then the client responded in that time. Can you believe it, right? All meant to be. Thank you for the hearts, guys. So I'm going to let you go. Please ask questions about this. Post. I always check back and respond. If you're not on here right now and you're looking back at this later and you have questions about this, like, how do I do it? What's the step-by-step process? Because there is a technique. Thank you for the hearts, guys. There is a technique to this, and some of it's customized, right? Some of it's going to be customized. And some of this is going to be where you're listening to a process and then feeling your way through and connecting in and learning and seeing the results of using your consciousness as a flow tool. Thank you for the hearts. Hey, Sarah, thank you. Thank you for joining. We're just bringing things to a close. Please comment. Oh my gosh, I love all these hearts. This is awesome. Energy, right? See how my whole face lights up when you guys do the heart thing? It's awesome. You're a powerhouse. Don't forget, reality is not solid. Things can change very quickly. I want you to know how powerful you are. Okay? Love and blessings to all of you guys. Please comment, ask questions. I can help you really easily through through the comments after the video is over. And I will be back here on Monday to do the Monday morning mindset. Please like or subscribe to my videos so that they stay at the top of your feed and you know you won't miss anything. And then we can continue to exchange and grow together. I wish all of you so many blessings. And I will see you guys back here on Monday morning. It's 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Eastern. Blessings for your day. And thank you, everybody, so much for being on here. I feel it. I feel the support of who you are. And I love the hearts and the thumbs ups. Thumbs ups. Yeah, that's right. Cheers to all of you. Blessings from here. And I'll see all of you soon. Blessings.